So welcome everyone from Istanbul, Turkey. Here I am in my hotel room where I've been all day. I'm not sure if anyone's going to make it to this Hangout because the notice for it went out a bit late. Right now I've got 0 viewers, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do right now, I've been rushing like crazy because I spent the whole day writing something when I really should have been doing things like preparing for this Hangout. So I'm just going to tweet that the Hangout has actually started, just in case. So I'm tweeting. Everything takes time on the computer, especially when you're on the little laptop on the road. So NRC01PL. Nice. Oh, on Twitter, of course. Twitter has this new thing where it slams me with follow this person, follow that person, and it's crazy. So, okay, I've posted it. I hope I got the thing right. Let's see if we have anyone here yet. If not, there's no problem because people still come and watch this later. I do have a viewer. Hi, viewer number 1. You are the one and only viewer. And in theory, I can invite you in here and you can come on and talk if you want. And because the Friday sessions are supposed to be really informal anyways, and this one more so than usual because this Friday session, as I say, I spent all day doing something else. So if you are either, I guess you can't get into the group chat, but if you tweet me or Skype me or something like that, we'll pop you into the Hangout and we can chat. Getting a bit of a waddle there, eh? All right, so while we're waiting for that, if that happens, don't feel pressured. If you don't want to, that's fine too. I'm going to pop over to the Twitter feed, take a look at the hashtags, and maybe I'll share the screen so that I'm sharing it with all of you. Well, you. And so here we go, screen share. Pop into full screen because I have nothing to hide. And again, we have to wait for it to happen. All right, so the infinite regress tells me that this is working fine. Oh, and we have Don Present with a poll. That's cool. With 0 votes in it. Tough to hear, huh? So here's the poll, and it's in the Twitter feed. So have a look at it. And he's asking, well, let me make this bigger so people can read. He's asking, there, oh, that's really big. Again, delayed reaction for everything I do. Main areas of interest: active formal education, active workplace learning development, research, or other, and you have to retweet to qualify or to clarify. I'll vote research because that's what I do. And so now, Don, you have 1 vote. I wonder if there's a way I can't get my smiling face to show up here, even though all I'm doing is sharing the screen, because it really, there should be a way. Should be a way. This is a case of experimenting while I'm in practice. What I'm going to try to, oh wait, that's an idea. I'll try the video. Again, there's nothing. Oh, if you've ever wondered what Windows 10 looks like, this is what Windows 10 looks like. So you probably didn't wonder. So what I'm doing, I'm looking for the video recording. There, oh, it's voice recorder. It won't help. So I don't know if I have a video recording tool. So I'll try Skype. Now Skype. Let's get Skype. I should have it right on here. I've used it twice today already. This is the world's most boring online session here. If I'd had my act together, I'd have video up, excuse me, and running. And now I've got a column too, just for fun. Skype, there we go, Skype. And we'll just wait for that, and I'll move on here. Oh, I don't know how to get, there we go. So, starting to analyze better LMSs. Again, this is Don. So that was something popping up. Via logs, that's new to me. So this is other LMSs. Oh, okay, Via logs is a website where he's putting his reviews. Way cool. And that must be Don reviewing stuff. I don't think this will work. But I'm going to try it anyways.
For many students, completing a college or university degree seems like a maze.
That was not done.
It's difficult to know which path to take, and choices can be overwhelming. Students may take longer to graduate, or may not graduate at all.
So that should be working.
And it ends up costing them and their schools time and money. What if there was a way to give students the information they need to make informed decisions and create a clear path to on-time graduation?
And here's Don's comments.
Introducing Brightspace Degree Compass. It's a personalized course recommendation tool that uses predictive analytics to help advisors and students plan the best path to graduation. Academic advisors can use the Degree Compass intuitive course ranking system to see which courses are most relevant to a student and their predicted success in order to provide individualized academic guidance based on each student's needs. Students can also use Degree Compass to narrow down their choices and take control of their learning journey. By making academic advising easily accessible, Degree Compass helps advisors reach the students that need it most. Degree Compass, helping students to make informed choices, increase their chances for success, and complete their degrees on time.
Okay, so, and here we have Don's comments here. And if I put this back over a bit, there we go. All right, so what you should be seeing now in your live view is me, me on the one side. I'll do this again in the future so that we actually get better video from these things. And you know, the content that we're looking at over here. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go back to this, and I'll put this in the newsletter if it's not already in, so we can have a look at it. Frederick Graver gives us the next generation digital learning environment. So that's an EDUCAUSE publication, and I think it's been up for a little while now, but not a long time. Yeah, April 2015, so about a year, a bit less than a year. So again, it's looking at the next generation learning management system. Obviously, you can't read it as I scroll through it quickly like this. I'm looking for a picture so that we can have a nice picture, but maybe EDUCAUSE isn't going to give us a picture. That's too bad. Again, though, good resource and definitely worth sharing. Coming back here, Stephen Powell, use of LMS may be even less sophisticated than 15 years ago as institutions integrate and automate, locking down teacher autonomy. Yeah, I would probably never be able to get away with what I'm doing right now, which is like a completely unplanned session. Using a variety of tools from a laptop in Istanbul, you know, using an ordinary learning management system. So, and so March 1, so we're getting a few days ago now. So let's have a look at Dijo. Dijo. I wish somebody would straighten me out on the pronunciation of that. Oh, stop. Let's see what that says first. I think those are tweets to me and not to Dijo, but oh no, okay, well, we're in Dijo. So, okay. Remember, we can't just search for the thing because I don't know. Dijo doesn't roll that way, but I think it's just tag NRC01. Oops. 01PL. Let's see what we've got in the tags here. So, NRC 12 links of something. Okay, shared 12 tabs. I think we looked at this before. We looked at this last time. And we had nothing new since, or is this past year or any time? Selected tags. No, I think we're okay. The non-Uberization. Beyond instructional design. Here's the edgy cause of it. It's the same thing again, isn't it? The next generation digital learning environment. Okay, so what I'll do now, let me tell you what I spent the whole day doing instead of real stuff that I should be doing. There was a piece that came in my email today. I think it was email or in RSS feed, one or the other. Contact North. Basically, a look at the future of online learning from the perspective of 2016. And I'll just go get that. Come on. There we go. I'm going to pop into my own system. It hasn't come out in my newsletter yet, right? So I have to look for it. And as you can see, everything takes time on this computer. My computer used to be fast. It used to be a really nice, fast laptop computer, and then I installed Windows 10 on it. Now it's no longer fast. I'm so disappointed. So here's the link. There were no pictures either, so I don't even have any pictures. Oh no, I did. I found a picture to run. That's from the header of the Contact North site. All you see on Contact North is a little tiny sliver of this, but this is the whole picture. So here it is, and it's by an unnamed author in Contact North. And I'll just pop over to it. And the idea is that whoever it is, I assume it's a he, but I don't know, is predicting what's going to happen. It's in 2 parts. It actually turns out to be a 16-page PDF, etc. So it goes through a little bit of context first, talks about the technology, talks about some of the changes where technology changes learning, talks about institutional context, etc. So I was very disappointed with it. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Well, I was going to say I was unhappy, which is not really an improvement. But I thought that the view of online learning that it took was shallow. I commented in my own piece that I felt that there should have been more examples. You know, it would have been strengthened a lot more, especially since, you know, when we're predicting the future, a lot of what we want to predict is human future. And humans aren't predictable in the sense that geology is predictable or you know, celestial mechanics are predictable. Humans, but humans are humans, and there are ways in which they don't really change. One way, for example, is take technology, any technology, a human will find a way to use it for some sort of unintended but endlessly hilarious purpose, which is why we have an internet full of cat videos and cat pictures, right? The most expensive technology ever developed in human history, and we fill it with cat pictures. Why? Because we are human. And that's what's missing from this piece. So I spent all day replying to it. And I mean literally all day. I haven't been out of the room, which is terrible because I'm in Istanbul. So I can't really read this because it's pretty long. But what I wanted to do is capture some of the mistakes and draw them out and correct them. For example, there's a couple pieces here when he talks about the technology, about adaptive systems and learning and analytics, predictive analytics, and all of that. And yeah, okay, there will be adaptive systems, learning analytics, predictive analytics, and all of that. But that's not the thing that online learning needs. And somewhere in there I wrote the Downes's, what did I call it? Downes's inviolate law. Let's see if I can't find it. So, oh, you'll get to see this horrible thing that Twitter foists on us now in a second, because of course we have to wait for everything. So, oh no, I'm not going to see it, am I? Okay. So, now here we go. Look at this. Look at this. This is garbage, Twitter. Garbage. I don't need all of that before I see anything useful. If I wanted to follow those people, I would have followed those people. So Downes's inflexible law of learning. It's when we do stuff that we learn, not when stuff does something for us. Now, of course, there was immediately a flood of Twitter responses saying, oh no, people have been saying that forever. Well, yeah, people have been saying that forever. The first part, it's when we do stuff that we learn. But then they forget about the second part, not when stuff does something for us. And when we look at all these developments in learning technology, online learning, even traditional pedagogy, it's all about us doing stuff for the learner. Backwards, totally backwards. That's why Downes's law has two parts to it. The part where it works and the part where it doesn't. And you need to keep in mind both. So finding the right resource, making the right recommendation, adapting the learning path, that's not the thing that we need in online learning. What we need is a place where people can do things. So if we look at what we can do with modern instructional technology and modern artificial intelligence and all of that, it gives us a lot of control, a lot more control than we used to have. And I think that is where we're going to see these things impact online learning. It's not on my paper, but I'll give you an example. SimCity, wonderful teaching tool. SimCity is basically, I don't want to say it's a complex adaptive system, it's not really that, but it's close enough, right? It's a multi-factor database game. So basically, SimCity is a big database overlaid with some fancy graphics, which is what you actually see. And then a bunch of rules. And the rules are for the manipulation of the data. And I don't know exactly what they are because the rules aren't publicized, right? Someone knows what they are, but I don't. But they're probably along the lines of, if a house is next to a forest, then for each turn, increase the value of the house by a certain amount. And so your property values go up in that area. Or, there's a mechanism for calculating how many cars will be on this road. And if there's too many cars, the cars slow down. If the cars slow down, that lowers commerce and lowers industry, etc., right? Or, as always, if you raise taxes, property taxes will go down, or property values will go down. If you increase taxes, property value, or try that again. If you raise taxes, property values go down. If you lower taxes, property values go up. There's no real way out of a financial bind. You can't, in SimCity, just raise taxes. You raise taxes, your city will empty. Real life doesn't work that way. People like to pretend that it does, but it doesn't. But the key is, you are sitting on top of this really intelligent system that simulates a city. And the whole objective of SimCity is to mess around with the controls and see what happens. And it's an object lesson in, very simple but interesting urban dynamics and urban planning. What happens when you put an industrial area right in the middle of a residential zone? Well, we can pretty much predict what will happen, right? What happens when you build a monument next to a commercial center? Commercial center gets better, stuff like that. And you're not learning these things explicitly. You're getting a feel for this by messing around with the system. I do mention Code Academy in the paper. Code Academy, which everyone ignores when people talk about MOOCs, is an open online system. It's a coding environment where you change your computer program and then look at the results right in that environment. So you tweak a variable and look how something changes. That is where artificial intelligence, where excuse me, learning analytics, adaptive learning, that's where these things will play a role, not in finding some resource and presenting it to you. I think that's really important. And I think, throughout the Contact North paper, I think there's a dichotomy between this idea that we do stuff for people and that helps them learn, so we have to take care of being really sure that we're doing all the right stuff for people, and the idea that actually people learn on their own. They will want more and more to have more control over what they're doing, and the influence of the institution will be less and less. And by the time we get to the end, here's the end. It looks a lot like the beginning. By the time we get to the end, the poor writer of the Contact North paper is on two completely different tracks. On one track, we've got right here, learning will no longer be defined by time, place, or institutional offerings. Well, if that's true, then all of this stuff about the future of the institution and institutional standards and how you're going to organize and planning for the future, completely irrelevant, right? So if it's false, then we have this model of learning which really is the continuation of the existing model of learning, where everybody goes to a university or everybody takes a course, except maybe it's online. I don't see it. And I don't see it because more and more, as we see learning become more integrated into the life and work experience, it has to be a lot more reactive. It has to be a lot more contextually useful, and it has to help us solve problems and do things rather than meet outcomes or objectives. There's lots of talk in the Contact North document about outcomes and objectives. If you listen carefully, you can hear the call to prayer outside. That's one of the things I really like about Islamic countries. 5 times a day, you get the call to prayer, and it's a wonderful thing. And I think we should have it in Canada. Why not? I think it's great, and it gives order to your day. and it gives this atmosphere that just isn't present in non-Islamic countries. Where was I? Oh yes. Also, micro degrees. Lots of talk about micro degrees, and it occurred to me that what it reminded me of was pinball. Now, not everybody is as old as I am, so not everybody played pinball when it just came out. I did. I played pinball while they were still old mechanical machines. They were wonderful. And playing one of them really was like working an instrument. Everything was physical. Everything was mechanical. And you'd shake the thing and move it around and nudge it. And, you know, there's a lot of English in playing the old style pinball machines. And the scores would go up to, you know, a couple of thousand, 4,000, 5,000. There were only 4 digits on the scoreboard, so it wasn't going to go any higher. And they never did. You know, if you rolled it over, you owned that machine. As pinball grew through the 80s, they became digital. We began to see the digital readouts and you know, LEDs and things like that. They were a lot brighter, a lot louder, a lot faster, and the scores went up. So instead of, you know, 100, 1,000 points, you're going after 10,000, 100,000. I was reading 10 million points. And I'm thinking, what is the point of that? I never liked it at the time. I always thought it was silly. Why? And especially since the bumper was always worth 25 points. No matter what the point inflation was, you could bounce the ball on the bumper forever and it wouldn't be worth anything. But those points would roll. And it's interesting because the more points we got, the faster the games were going, the less entertainment we were getting out of our quarter. You know, you put the quarter, it's done. You got 10,000 points, but it's done. And micro degrees strike me in the same way. You're not getting more learning just because you get more degrees. You may be getting less learning and maybe less learning for your money. And like, you know, the 10 million points, it seems to me that the micro learning credentials are kind of covering up for the fact that really you're getting less and less and less. And anyways, it's all about delivering and certificates anyways, and that really is pretty much meaningless to me. Meaningless because people, when they want to learn informally, as I said, want to solve a problem or get something done. I don't care if I got a micro certificate from Stack Overflow. What I do care is that I got the algorithm for the bubble sort or solved the problem authenticating to that API. That's what I care about. So that's what I had to say. There's also lots of stuff in Contact North piece about more public-private partnerships and, you know, and overall, you know, the increasing business logic, business value administration. So, you know, and I remark in there, you know, it's education is the last refuge of Taylorism. It's not. That's probably not completely true, but close enough to true. It'll linger on in education for decades. And it's funny because I'm reading the writer say, on the one hand, we can't be treating students as customers. And on the other hand, we need to be measuring the business value. And again, 2 tracks, right? An internally inconsistent presentation of the future, one or the other. And so you sort of get the idea that the person writing realizes education will become more personal, more individually driven, more informal, and at the same time can't let go of the institutional and indeed even privatized business kind of mindset that currently permeates the institution. There's a bit at the end. Let's see if I Yeah, there's a bit. The author is making the recommendation, rethink the role of faculty. And it struck me because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, when I was in university, the ethos was, and it was actually stated, it wasn't implied at all. The faculty, the faculty, are the university. And it's very telling to see this written now where the faculty is referred to in the third person, as though, I don't know what, they're wage laborers or something like that. I mean, the role of faculty has changed that dramatically since I've been in university. It's not long ago at all. So I think we need to rethink something, but I think what we need to rethink is the role of colleges and universities in society. And I think that there's three models I can throw at you here. That'll get us started. We can probably think of a few more. One, the public mandate, to serve the public through the development and dissemination of research for the public good. Or the scientific mandate, serve the goals of science, original and pure inquiry, contemplation of the difficult questions. Or maybe the innovation mandate, to serve as a research and development organization, self-funded through contacts with business and industry, to provide an as-needed research engine to help them develop and market their products. All three of these have a role in society. All three of these can play a teaching role, but not a role where you take all of your highly expert personnel and put them in the classroom and don't even let them teach. They have to be coaches and mentors by the side. Is that the way to use a person who spent 10, 15, 20 years studying theoretical physics and stands by the side of the class and is a coach? It's absurd. Let the poor professor do physics. That's what they wanted to do. Pay them to do that, but put them in an environment where that is the thing that they're doing that produces the results. And then when they're in that environment doing physics, the students are in that environment doing physics with them, those that are interested in doing physics. All occupations, not just research professor, should have this teaching role. Cooks have apprentices in the kitchen. It's the way it's always been. Farmers have farm boys. They used to be called cowboys. People learning how to farm on a farm. I did that. Wasn't a very good farmer, but I learned how to farm on a farm. Foresters, there's the junior forest rangers. That should be more of a thing. Why can't students become expert in a field by working in that field alongside the professionals in the field? And so with academic research. So even with philosophy and mathematics and comparative literature and all of these academic disciplines for which society actually does have a use for and a desire for and a willingness to pay for. Let's do it that way instead of setting up this very artificial situation where we take people away from what they really want to be doing and have them be coaches or guides by the side. Okay, I've been completely negligent in checking Twitter and all of that. Sorry. Like I say, this has been on my mind all day. I'll put both of these links into today's newsletter so you can read them. Don says, suggest Downs is conflating micro degrees with gold stars a la Alfie. Cone. If they meet career objectives, e.g. Con Ed recruitment. Well, okay, there's more to that discussion than I presented so far in this conversation. But Is it conflation if they're both doing the same thing? Suppose I got a gold star for meeting career objectives. I almost do, in a sense. I mean, I have performance reviews. I don't get gold stars, but it'd be nice if I did. It'd be better than the pat on the back. They used to give out attaboys. Remember attaboys? But look, how do you know if somebody meets career objectives? How do you know that somebody's qualified for doing a job? Yeah, we could give them degrees. We could give them micro degrees and give them lots of micro degrees or one big macro degree. It kind of works out to the same thing. You're not getting more education if you get more degrees, right? Having micro degrees doesn't mean you're doing it. It might be organized in a different configuration. That's the most of it. But really, what we want to be able to determine is not whether someone can get a degree. We want to be able to determine whether someone can do the job. And that is something that micro degrees, like gold stars, don't accomplish. They are stand-ins. They are proxies for actual accomplishment. And we live in the age of the Internet of Things. We live in the age of social media. We live in the age of everything is connected. We don't need proxies anymore. And micro degrees are proxies. And also, I can't really imagine somebody having a whole bunch of them on them. I would never. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but I can't imagine somebody handing a CV or a resume in to apply for a job and having a whole bunch of micro degrees listed. I just don't see it. What else have we got? Hangout Istanbul is on the air now. Yep. People still liking that tweet. That's nice. Okay, let's see what else is. If anything is in the Twitter feed here, definitely endorse practice, experience, apprenticeship, problem-solving approach to learning with just-in-time support. Yeah, I think, and Don, I think we're on the same page overall. I really do. I've talked with you in the past. We should have you on the air one of these times. Send me your email address, and next time I have one of these, that'll be next Wednesday, by the way. I'll invite you in because you're probably the one viewer and you deserve to be recognized for that. Let's check and see if I've got 5 viewers now. That's pretty cool. So not just 1 viewer anymore. That's nice because not only do I have 5 viewers, I kept 5 viewers. Of course, I may have had 10 and lost 5. I don't know. I wasn't looking. Okay, housekeeping. So as I say, I'll get this stuff out in the newsletter this afternoon. It's coming out in a few hours. I'm in Istanbul. My schedule is mush. It could be worse because now it's the weekend, so I don't need to be. But I am doing a talk here tomorrow, 9:30. I still don't know whether I can live stream it. I will definitely record it. And I have my video camera, so, well, not video camera, but I have the good webcam, so I can get a decent recording of it. I will definitely do that, even if I can't webcast it. And if I record it, I'll upload it. I'll be in the same hotel. The bandwidth isn't bad here, so I should be able to upload it right away, and you'll get a chance to see it. Don't ask me what the talk is about. I haven't started preparing for it yet. I was doing other stuff all day. Next week, now, Monday, still in Istanbul, and so I'll get your stuff fired off as usual on Monday to get the next week going. Tuesday, I'm flying back to Ottawa. I won't be available Tuesday at all. I'm just hoping I get the newsletter out somehow. Wednesday will be the day we have our live Hangout on air. And for that Hangout, I will be taking you into The back end of Grasshopper, that's the application that I use to create the CMOOCs, the connectivist MOOCs, to set up the pages, to harvest all of the content, to send out the newsletter, and even some other things. So I'll show you all of that. Our course is now kind of gonna move away from being an LMS edX style kind of course into one of these more social kind of out there courses. It always has been a bit, but the role of the edX won't be as central as we move more and more away from the traditional learning management system and toward something like personal learning. Thursday and Friday of next week, something is up. I forget what it is. I know I have an all-day meeting Thursday, so I won't be doing a hangout on there Thursday, and I don't know what I'm doing Friday, but there is a reason, as I recall, that I can't do a hangout on there Friday. So I'm looking at Wednesday only for the hangout on air for next week. And then the week after is San Diego. We'll have some fun on the West Coast. Everything will be late because it's the West Coast. And by the time I get up, it'll be noon where you live. But we'll adapt. So let's see if there's anything else before I go. I don't think there is. Hey, you never know. I need a new mouse too, because when I click on things, it doesn't always register. Okay, I think we're good. So, all right, that's all for now. I hope this wasn't too disorganized and non-useful. Thanks for hanging in there, and I'll see you live next Wednesday. Bye, all.